Make it posh. Time management guru. Randolph Frederick Randy Posh was an American professor of computer science and human-computer interaction and design at Carnegie Mellon University, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Posh learned that he had pancreatic cancer, a terminal illness, in September 2006. In November 2007, he gave a legendary time management lecture. Since then, millions have been moved by Randy's story.
Of course I know that you have been changing over the past months. That ex called me 2 weeks ago and told me that you have been surprising her with your honesty. But especially this morning, perhaps because I was reading your words instead of listening to them on the telephone, and therefore felt more room for my own feeling responses, I was overwhelmed with this experience of desire. Desire for desire, really. It made me think that the real lesson of aging is about managing desire, about allowing myself to feel it in different ways and not stuffing or muffling it with drink, food, drugs, sex, etc., because desire is something which cannot be satiated. It can only be stifled or silenced.
Or, as Slavoj Žižek puts it, desire's raison d'être is not to realize its goal, to find full satisfaction, but to reproduce itself as desire.
Afternoon.
If, of three hands, the first holds only a small sheet of paper, the second a pile of sheets or a book, and the third a pile of books, then physically each of the three hands is exposed to weight.
The first will feel nothing, or only a soft touch. The second, clearly some pressure downward, and the third may even feel pain. Just ours.
Having a slick tongue and an underdeveloped hand.
I always think about the people who build buildings, and then they're not around anymore. Or a movie with a crowd scene and everybody's dead. It's frightening. Whoa.
They always say that time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself.
Be on the lookout for time robbers and dysfunctional interruptions.
Never take advantage of momentum. Such is the rule of my game. André Gide.
One goal is to help yourself become aware of how you use your time. Thus, though we cannot make our sun stand still, yet we will make him run.
The arrival of Venus in the sky brings sensual pleasure. Do I leave contingency time in my schedule to deal with the unexpected? Do I know whether the tasks I am working on are high, medium, or low value? Am I stressed about deadlines and commitments? Do distractions often keep me from working on critical tasks?
Do I find I have to take work home in order to get it done?
The human anus secluded itself deep within flesh, in the crack of the buttocks, and it now forms a projection only in swatting and excretion. All the potential for blossoming, all the possibilities for the liberation of energy, now under normal conditions found the way open only toward the superior regions of the buccal orifices, toward the throat, the brain, and the eyes. Georges Bataille.
When I am given a new assignment, do I analyze it for importance and prioritize it accordingly?
Night.
The intact anus, to which nothing sufficiently blinding can be compared except the sun, even though the anus is the night.
To live a dispassionate and cultured life in the open air of ideas, reading, dreaming, and thinking of writing.
A life so slow it constantly verges on tedium, but pondered enough never to find itself there.
To live this life far from emotions and thought, living it only in the thought of emotions and in the emotions of thoughts.
To goldenly stagnate in the sun like a murky pond surrounded by flowers.
To possess in the shade that nobility of spirit that makes no demand of life.
It's all strange to me. I know I live on a fierce and magical planet which sheds or surrenders rain or even flings it off in whip stroke after whip stroke. which fires out bolts of electric gold into the firmament at 186,000 miles per second, which with a single shrug of its tectonic plates can erect a city in half an hour. Creation is easy, is quick, and time's arrow than Martin's.
Define your goals. To organize our life in such a way that it becomes a mystery to others, that those who are closest to us will only be closer to not knowing us. That is how I've shaped my life, almost without thinking about it, but I did it with so much instinctive art that even to myself, I've become a not entirely clear and definite individual.
A joyous break with eternity.
In the creation of Renaissance festivals, life is experienced as an enjoyment of the passage of time.
The extreme difficulty I am encountering in making my X progress is perhaps but the natural result of an initial vice. From time to time, I am convinced that the X is ridiculous, and I come to a point where I no longer even understand what I want. Energy.
Thank you. Who took the pictures of me, listened to me, and without whose fierce and eloquent voice, I would be much worse off and less inclined to wish it were different, but who still is a pain in my ass. And thank you to all those who have supported Julius Caesar in the past 18 months and who continue to support us through FestFest. And if, as has been suggested, it was indeed begun as a platform for our own work, it has certainly grown far beyond those humble, narcissistic, and necessary beginnings.